Hello and welcome to the Out of War podcast. I'm your host Nick here, and today I'm here with my co-host and a special guest. I have Daniel Real, my co-host,
Hey, yo.
and our special guest Liam.
Spronkin. Yeah.
Spronkin. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't want to fuck up.
Yeah. You spelled it wrong last time.
Yeah.
So.
It's just bad luck.
What?
It's
not bad luck that you can't spell.
No, that's pretty bad luck. I went to school for 8
It's
years,
bad luck
man.
that
Pretty bad.
you had to write my name, I think is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We didn't even end up going to that place, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
we've got some cool things that we did over the weekend, but I guess we have to start on a bit of a somber note.
Yeah.
Just today, it's been announced that the country is going into level 4 lockdown, which is not good. Like,
It's not good for us.
yeah,
It
It's not good for
means
the store.
Yeah. Means our videos are going to become a lot less until it goes away.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that we can't sit close together
Yeah.
and do it. We are going to try to work out something as online through
on
Discord.
webcam, but
But
yeah, if expecto content slow down or like not as high quality,
Yeah.
just because we're not going to be able to film on location.
Yeah.
So
And in regards to the slow content, we would also like to issue an apology. We haven't been as upkept with our podcast in the last 3 weeks. It's largely due to a few technical issues.
Yeah.
And
there are a couple we
And
did.
Rosinette's prep.
yeah.
Yeah, we did film some, but we decided they weren't fit to release.
Yeah.
So
It was a great podcast, but unfortunately, due to a technical issue, it meant that it was almost unbearable to actually listen and watch.
yeah, so we
didn't
axed
weren't
it.
comfortable with putting out that sort of quality.
Yeah, because we want to strive to maintain our quality. So I guess now that that's out of the way, we'll try and talk about some of the more exciting things that we did over the past weekend.
So what happened this past weekend?
We went to Nelson. We drove all the way up to Nelson from Dunedin.
Yep.
Which is 9.5 hour drive.
It was
Something like
long. It was really
Yeah.
long.
to play at our road to Nats.
First one we've been able to play it.
Yeah.
I thought we went to eat burgers.
Probably the last one we're gonna be able to
Well,
play.
that's why
at.
Nick went. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed we didn't eat more burgers.
Well, that's because we
Whoa.
had pizza the first night.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
We had burgers on the way up actually.
Yeah, we stopped at Burger Bros,
In
Bacon
Christchurch.
Bros in Christchurch.
That was pretty good, eh?
That was really good. I actually really enjoyed that.
It was alright.
Nick bought the like
pretty expensive.
largest sized burger there.
The mammoth.
The
Man
Man
Mountain.
Mountain.
Man Mountain, that's right.
It was like
$25 burger.
this tall. It was pretty impressive.
It was good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I just had a nice chicken cranberry.
Yeah.
And brie.
Can't go wrong, right?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I drove the rest of the way up. He drove up to Christchurch.
Yeah. So I did the first half, you did the second half, and we did the same thing again on the
Yeah.
other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the first burger was probably my favorite of the trip.
Yeah.
Which is great because I needed a nap after that burger.
Yeah.
Halfway up the car trip, yeah, that put you to sleep.
Yeah. So
I
then we
think
got
I've-
up there and we got pizza the first night.
Yep.
That was nice too.
And alcohol
Yes.
because we went up a day earlier than we needed to.
Yeah.
So we decided we could
Smart
get
thinking,
blasted.
lads.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, if you drank the night before the tournament, then you're good
We
for
did
the,
some practice
for the
games.
day.
Yeah.
We fixed
Yeah.
Steven's deck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Changed
We've-
his chainless around.
Did a lot of
Played a lot
practice.
of Bolton games that didn't end up mattering because none of us ended up playing Bolton.
Yeah,
A
so
lot.
yeah,
We've
going
played, like, a
up for the
lot.
weekend, Liam and I were like set on playing Bolton, and we spent the night writing up an entire sideboard plan. We had all the matchups covered. We knew exactly what we were sideboarding for what, how we were going to play.
And then
And-
Saturday night, we played like 8 games of Bolton v Chain,
Yeah.
and I won every one of them, and it wasn't close on Chain. So we're like, oh well, back to Chain.
Yeah. We're like, oh yeah, this is still unwinnable.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Saturday night it was spent scrounging for building 2 decks.
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
chain
3
decks.
in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 in
Kenny
the end.
1-1.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, so Saturday morning was a winner case, or a winner box or something.
Saturday
Blocks.
afternoon.
Saturday afternoon,
Yeah,
yeah.
it didn't
Yeah.
start till late.
Yeah,
Which was
that
good
was
because
that was why we entered
Yeah.
in the end.
Mm.
And then, yeah, so I played Kano.
Yeah.
And the plan was beat up all the no rune decks and dodge Prism. And so naturally, I played Prism round 1 and 3 and went 1-2 and dropped.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's great.
It's good times. Kano felt pretty fun though. I got to do 29 to an Azalea on turn 3. It was quite fun.
Yeah.
Would do again.
Yeah. I was on Bolton and I got a first round bye. It's a bit annoying. And then second round I play Saw on Control Katsu and it's unwinnable for Bolton. Just 9 flick flags. I tried to set up triple Lumina, but it came far too late, and lost that one. And in the third game, I lose the mirror. I was like well in control of the game, and he snatches me and gets an E-strike off the top. Then he gets to set up an arsenal, and then E-strike me later down for 7. We're both really low, so it just completely flipped the game.
Yeah.
So that was a bit rough.
And then that was the double Lumina. Or the Lumina at the end, eh?
Yep. Yeah, we actually worked out afterwards that it was a misplay area. Because he played a single Lumina by itself and then attacked me twice without charging, which is not actually possible.
Yeah.
It's not how the card works, but I didn't catch it at the time, so...
And you lost the ammo off it.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it is what it is.
Yep.
But yeah, anyway, we dropped and got some
What did you play,
burgers.
Nick?
I played Prism, and
Yeah.
my first round ended up me against Bravo, which is not a great match.
You went to time.
Went to time, ended up with a draw.
You were winning that game.
I was
all
winning. I
time.
had the game in my favour. They were like from both sides. They were slow playing in the earlier half of the game, which largely caused the main issue at the end. But by the end of it, where I was at, there was no way for him to come back. He was just slowly giving up his life, going to die.
I think Prism actually is decent Bravo matchup when played the way you were playing it, but it does just take a long time.
It does
for the
take a long
match to
time,
flip
and
in
if
your
you
favour, eh?
you have to be certain on your decisions like instantly, and sometimes it's actually a lot more difficult because there is actually a lot of thinking
Yeah.
due to some of the plays that get done.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, and then second round, I think I played Brute, which was like, oh, you just played to time and win and draw. And here's your second round versus a Brute, and you're just like,
It's like easily the
Why?
worst matchup for Prism.
why?
Right?
It's just
Yeah.
like
Just
literally,
impossible.
yeah. But fortunately for me, this guy had been playing Brute for like 3 weeks and didn't know what he was doing. So I ended up turn 2 or turn 3, got Genesis out, and that's basically my only game plan against Brute is get Genesis out or make Spectrals and attack because I can't really attack with my things. But he never got rid of the Genesis, and it ended up with me with like 12 to 13 Spectral shields at the end of it. And it's just like, can you block it? Nope.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah. Rep
Yeah.
learned his
That's the
lesson the
downside
hard
of
way.
not playing Iris, right?
Yeah. I talked to him about it afterwards. There was like a few mistakes he made. Like in the first turn, I started and I attacked with a Prism, like a Herald of Ravages, and he actually just took it instead of blocking it or popping it in the first turn. And I
Yeah.
was like, that was a mistake. You had the option to pop it or block it, and you should have taken it.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna draw up your hand. Your hand's not that important. And then I CNC'd him, and he took that as well. Like he took both of them straight off the bat.
Just 14
Yeah.
damage turn 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick
was
quick
like-
tip, like for anyone watching. If you're taking a non 1 or 2 or 3 amount of damage on your first turn, you've probably screwed up somewhere really badly.
Or you're playing Kano,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and your hand just does like 10 damage because you have an eye.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only time.
Yeah. So you
It's
should be pretty
fine to
much
take-
always
yeah, you should be blocking
like-
up as much as you can, but it's okay to leak 1 or 2 damage. It largely depends on what your hand is and what you're catering
Oh
for.
yeah.
But
Ideally
anything
you don't
more
want to
5
take
and
any.
6, you don't want to be taking. You should be blocking.
Also, I think 3 is pretty dodgy.
Yeah, 3 is pretty dodgy.
3 is like almost
You'd
a
have
whole
to have
attack,
like a
right?
really good god tier hand to even
Yeah.
considering it.
You could have a hand of like invert Art of War and Chain or something, and then
Yeah,
like you don't
just
get
not-
a choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which is pretty miserable, but
yeah. You don't want to throw your arm away on that.
Yeah.
Either, so.
Yeah. You want to start turn 2 having lost as little as possible, right? Which usually means most of the decks in the game at the moment aren't going to fatigue.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Most games are decided early.
yeah.
And then round 3, I played the chain matchup, which for me is actually pretty comfortable on Prism side. It's not terrible, but I did make one mistake blocking late game when I had my Skull Catap up. I should have used it, and it would have stopped a Rude Chart creation from the Nebula Blade, which actually would have won me the game because he dies to Blood Debt. But instead, because he has one more Rune Chart, he's actually able to inflict the extra damage to me and kill me.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it was to Steven, so I'm not really too worried.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was like,
Mm-hmm.
And then Steven went 3-0, I think.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or
He
the
know-
first 3 rounds he went
Yeah,
3-0.
He ended up going
and
4.
he dropped the next 3, I think. Oh no,
He only dropped 2 in the next 2.
no, he didn't top 8 though. He would have
He
top
did
8.
top
with
8.
that.
He lost 2 rounds. I know he lost 2
He must have
rounds.
lost the next 2.
And then won the
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah, and then
Pretty-
just missed
pretty-
out on card or something. But
Pretty good going. We ended up all dropping after like the 3rd round because we were like, let's just go get food.
Yeah, we're already like
We went and had lunch.
draw
It was
loss.
like
It was
4
like-
o'clock, so
yeah.
we were all pretty hungry, and we had no chance of top 8ing. So we were just like, let's just go.
And Callum was studying anyway, so
Yeah.
Yeah, he was back at the house.
So we went to Burger Culture, and I'm not happy.
Yeah, sorry lads, your burgers suck.
yeah, they weren't great.
Sorry, Nelson, you've let us down. You don't have
I had
any
the,
quality burger joints that I can.
The butter chicken burger, which sounded great, and then was not very good.
We had probably one of their main burgers, the
Yeah,
notorious
we
BIG.
went and bought the like large burger, not like they have like
Not
a
the challenge burger, but
We didn't get that because there were like ingredients that you had to have. You can like ask
yeah.
for things to not be in it. But-
Example, egg and pickles. We don't want them.
Yeah,
You don't want them.
He didn't want them either.
I don't want pickles.
I don't really care.
Egg's fine.
We'll talk about this later.
I think it's okay. It depends. But yeah, I thought their patty was alright, but just the cheese they put on it actually was
the
awful.
patty was good, but the cheese was like some American liquid style cheese.
Yeah,
Just yuck. It just doesn't taste good. Just put me on some
Yeah,
Colby
even
or
the
some
chips and
cheddar.
gravy was
or-
like
yeah.
tasted like packet gravy. And
Yeah, it tasted like mixed packet gravy, not.
but there was
but
one
the
thing.
shake
There was one
Oh.
thing that I can recommend from them. They do god tier milkshakes.
Yep.
and really good donuts.
Yeah,
So they had like a ring donut on a milkshake option.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, yeah, I'll give that a go. And yeah, the milkshake and the ring donut were fantastic.
and we got the
Booze one.
they were
We
called
just got a
boozies.
booze one. Yeah.
So they put
Couple
alcohol
shots
in
of
the
alcohol in
milkshake. So I got a bourbon vanilla milkshake, and it came with like Jaffas and stuff.
Yeah, it
on
was like whipped cream on top with sweets in it.
and it was quite tall. It is expensive, but you do actually get quite a decent shake for your money.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really nice, quite sweet, but yeah, very good.
I ended up getting like a banana vodka. It was good.
Yep.
We didn't end up eating again that night. It was
No,
like
didn't
4
need
p.m.
to,
It was
eh?
pretty late.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty much our dinner.
Yeah. We just went
And then
back.
we went back. We picked up Stephen and Kenny.
Yeah.
Oh, actually no.
Kenny was with us for lunch.
We went and
Yeah.
saw how Stephen did
Yeah.
because he had his own car.
Yeah.
Kenny almost did a runner.
Yeah, Kenny always done and dashed.
Yeah, we go to pay. And Kenny's like already walking out the
Kenny's
door.
out the door.
Kenny?
We're like,
Kenny?
oi, you come back.
Not paying for your food.
Yeah.
That's not how this works.
Oh, that was the other downside. It was very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap.
It was like
The
I
boozy
don't know,
milkshake
about
alone
40
was
bucks.
$17.
$40
Yeah.
for a burger and
The
milkshake.
burgers were reasonably priced, but nothing else was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd recommend the milkshake, but go somewhere else for the main meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Unfortunately.
then, yeah, we went back and we play tested. That's when we wrote our Bolton sideboard guide.
Yep.
And then
did a lot of playtesting.
I decided I was switching to chain pretty much straight away after the day.
And then I decided about 8 o'clock when I
Yeah.
just couldn't fucking beat it. Beat
And then we're
chain.
like, oh god, we have to find cards for a chain, another chain
Yeah.
deck.
Luckily, I brought up a bunch of decks.
I had
just
like
to
three quarters
playtest.
of a deck for me,
Yeah.
and you had a pretty much full deck.
Yeah.
And then Kenny had most of one, so we could put like together two lists.
Yeah.
And then Kenny wanted one as well by the end for some reason.
Yeah, he changed as well.
He did not.
He
great
changed his
on
mind
that.
about 3 times, I think.
Yeah.
From decks.
He asked
Yeah.
me for like a refraction bolters, and I'll get him the refraction bolters, and then he doesn't even end up playing Warrior.
Yeah, he picked up Twinning Blades as well for money,
Yeah.
and
Like,
then he decided he wanted to play Chain at the last minute because I played in one game Chain of His Story, and it was like the highest roll Chain game I'd ever had.
yeah.
It was like turn 1 plunder, Arsenal Plunder Run, turn 2 Art of War Plunder Run, Soul Reaping, swing Arsenal Art of War, and then turn 4 Arsenal another Plunder Run. I was like,
Jesus.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that-
so yeah, that wasn't particularly close, and I think that put him off playing Warrior. But like, I just told him that's never going to happen to you because it's totally unreasonable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, massive props to Money because he actually helped us out and sort of sourcing some cards last
Yeah.
minute when he had quite a trying evening that
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, he went. Yeah, he finished his thing at like 10, and then went and drank, and then he actually sorted the cards out for us that night
Yeah.
as well.
And then the taxi forgot. He was telling us how the taxi forgot about him.
Yeah,
So he
ended
just
up-
ended up having a cat nap on the floor of his store at 12:30 a.m.
yeah, something ridiculous.
and
Getting
then
home like,
and then got home at like 2:30 because someone stole his cab, and
yeah,
then his kids woke him up at 6 or something.
Oh man.
So he had like 4 hours sleep before running a road to nationals.
yeah, he was a machine.
machine.
So
Yeah.
yeah, very
Props
well,
to him.
very well run event by him, despite
Yeah.
like him telling us afterwards that he was completely naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So road to nets, huh?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. So you ended up staying on Prism. We were both playing Chain.
Yeah.
Slightly
I was pretty
different,
confident. I was pretty confident in my chain matchup. Like, it's not 100% me favorite. Like, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying it's like 80% me favored or 70% me favored.
You
or
just
60%.
thought you could win
I'm
it?
just really comfortable in the matchup. Like, I know what's happening and I know what I do, and I know how like if like can just quite easily flip.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just who gets to their setup turn first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so the meta breakdown ended up being like 6 chain.
8 chain.
Oh, sorry, 8 chain.
8 chain, 8 Katsu.
6
fi-
prism.
I think it's 5.
Something like that.
5 prism, 4 Dory, 2 Azalea.
4 Rhino.
4
4
dash.
Rhino.
2
4
Azalea.
dash.
2 Kano. 1 Livia.
No Livia.
Oh no, Livia wasn't represented. That was it?
One Viscera.
Yeah, it was the only
That's
hero
right.
that wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thoughts on Visceroid?
I'm pretty sure that's fairly accurate. But,
Or can we just start off mine so I can just...
alright, yeah, get
Nah,
out of the
so
way. No.
Nate needs to get some stuff off his chest.
Alright, so we have like the players meeting and then we have the judge meeting. And just before he finishes the judge meeting, he's like, you got 5 minutes to get to your chair or it's a match loss. And
I don't know
everyone's
why you're
just-
putting on the accent.
Yeah, I don't know why either. I just am.
Guy didn't speak
It's
like
not me,
that.
so I gotta put it on there.
Was in southern US.
So everyone like...
Yeah, we drove a long way.
We ain't in Nelson anymore.
Anyway, we like... Everyone rushes to their seats and takes their seat, and I take a seat down at my seat, and I'm just like... Is someone coming to sit opposite me, or am I just here by
Yeah,
myself?
you get first
Am I
round.
at the right table?
Yeah.
You get first round bye, don't you? That's right.
Yeah, opponent never showed up. Signed up online, just never cancelled.
Yeah, you showed
never
up beside me at like 5 minutes in. I was like, "What did
Holy
you play,
shit.
Kano? Is this just
Did you,
done?"
did you triple time someone?
Yeah.
No, so yeah, my opponent didn't show up, so I got to walk around the room and have a look at a few things, see what decks were being played, get a gather on information.
Yeah.
One of the favorite things I still saw that day was I walked past one of the wizard games that he's like turn 1, turn 2 or something, and he's just stir lessons a chain player that has no rune. I'm just like, I'm out.
I didn't even keep staring for that matchup.
You just go for it, right?
Yeah.
You just need to go wider. Yeah.
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 But yeah. And then round 3.
Round 2.
Oh yeah, round 2. Yeah.
Round 2, I get paired up against the only Viscerai player that's there.
And
Which
you're
is
not
a match-
playing Norun.
I'm not playing Norin because it doesn't play Norin because
You don't need
in the
it for
chain you don't need it, and in
And
the
you
wizard
just beat
you just
wizard.
beat wizard.
Yeah.
So I was like, I haven't actually played this matchup, so I was like, this is going to be interesting. I wonder if I can just go aggressive and keep putting on attacks. Turns out he was running 9 6s in his deck, and
What was it, like 9th Blade, Raging Onslaught?
9th Blade, Raging Onslaught, and
Commanding Onslaught?
nah, Amplify. I think it's
Amplify
Amplify
Arcanine.
Dark
Is,
Knight.
Yeah.
is Amplify 6? Yeah, because it's
Red.
4, 5,
it
6.
is,
Yeah.
The red one is 6.
And for the first 4 to 5 turns in a row, every single one of my attacks just got popped. It was actually abysmal, and because it's a rune chant making deck, he was just making rune chants and swinging.
That you
and
could
I
never
was
block. Yeah.
just taking mass rune chant damage. It was irrecoverable.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
amount of times, like I even
I
like,
got over in time to see your last hand. Do you remember
Yeah.
what that was?
yes, I don't want to talk about that. We'll get there. It was like a couple turns before that. I phantasm him. Look at his hand. He's got like a pummel, a red attack that costs 2, and then something else, and a blue. And I was like, oh, you're not paying for any of these. And I'm like, put that blue underneath the deck, and he top decks the 9th the blade, and just pops my phantasm. And it's like, oh man. And my game's just basically ruined from then onwards. But my last turn, I ended up drawing, and it was like 2 non-blocks.
It was Tome, Library.
and then 2 other things that two other
Yeah.
heralds I just have to block with.
And then he just hits you with an amplify and some rune chants, and you did.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
And then
So
what
that was round 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then round 3.
Round 3. Who did I play in round 3? I think I ended up playing a ninja. I played Jesse Biles. He used to play Yu-Gi-Oh down here a bit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's someone I knew. I played him on Ninja, and it ended up being actually a really tight game. It like most of the Ninja game just ends up being that coin toss. Whoever goes second usually wins.
Yep.
So you just win the dice roll, choose to go second, and you usually win. You block out the first turn, and then you just become aggressive on your second turn, and you just have the one.
Yeah,
turn
they're doing so much
advantage.
damage to each other and don't really block. So
Yeah. Anyway, it gets down to like the last couple of turns. We're both on very low life, and he puts an exude confidence in front of me, and I know he has a Razor Reflex and Arsenal, and I know he has a Tunic counter to block it,
To pay for it.
pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to like I consider either blocking the full amount, blocking part of the amount, and then getting razored.
He also had something like 2 cards in hand, 1 in Arsenal, right? So you have to play around the...
No, he has 1 card in hand and 1 in Arsenal.
Oh, yes.
He didn't have Tunic counter, actually. No, he lost the Tunic the turn before. So he didn't have Tunic. He actually only had 1 card in hand, and that card needed to pay for the razor that was in his arsenal.
Yeah. So you don't have to play around the blue.
Yeah, I don't have to play around the blue. I just have to play around the razor, which was like it's at 4 and it's at 7. I think I'm at 2 life. I think I'm like 1 or 2 life as well, and he's at 1 life. And it's just like I have to either double block and then get razored and most likely die and not be able to activate spectral or not be able to make a create a spectral shield and save myself.
Spectral or something.
No, I didn't have a spectral. I think maybe I did have.
Because you
no,
had double blocking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was considering double blocking. I ended up double blocking anyway.
Yeah.
But I needed to double block with something that had a power attack of 7.
In front of it, maybe.
No, I think I put Watching Herald, which was the red 1/7.
Yeah.
Which means I could activate any instant.
Yeah.
If he did razor it, which he knew, and then another 6/1. And I ended up keeping an Arclight Sentinel and a Hero of Erudition in hand, which I ended up being like, oh, this is really good. It didn't kill him. Like he was able to block it. I don't know. He must have been on 2 life too.
He had no armor.
He had no armor, so he must have been on 2 or 3 life. No, it must have been on 3 life because I got to draw my other 2 cards and attack again. Yeah, so he must have been on 3 life to my like 2 or 1.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just ended up hitting him with Erudition. He can only block once and then attack again and killed him.
Yeah.
Sounds like you wiped half the game from your memory.
Yeah,
It's just half the tournament.
Basically that whole day, like, it was a blur.
What'd you play after that?
I think...
Because I think you ended up 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, it wasn't good.
You kept playing, but...
It wasn't good. I think my next one was against...
Hayden?
Hayden? No, I think I moved up and I played against Hayden Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And Warrior's a tough game already because you gotta like actually block and try eat damage as well as blocking.
Yeah.
You need a Titan, and like he just had a massive like blowout reaction turn where he had everything, and
Yeah.
I threw like down 2 6 blocks, 3 blocks, and 2 Fate for Scenes and 2 Spectres, and it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Like and then I just got blown out because he had go again and he was able to swing again. It was just whole hand stripped.
Yep.
And so that pretty much knocked you out of top 8 contention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was...
And then you just kept playing for XP, right?
Yeah, because I needed to. The next game was against Jed Lawless, and...
Great guy to play.
Yeah, great guy to play. The vibe you get from the start is just amazing. It's just like you're actually playing someone that is...
Yeah, he's always a lad, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it ends up like... that game ends up being ridiculously funny, actually, to be honest, because... in the first like 3 turns, I dropped into 11 while only taking like 4 or 5 damage, and then I think because my hands are extremely they weren't extremely aggressive. They're all like average hands, but I was like, I just need to eat damage for the next 2 turns. He has to block, right? So I was like, I'll let him do whatever he wants. I've got like a 20 life point lead, it'll be fine.
Never
and
let
he
the
just
ninja do what he wants.
blows me out with a massive turn and ending with a fine center and creating a Zen state token.
Yeah.
Which then just ruins my next, like, 2 turns no matter
Serves you
what.
right.
Yeah.
Like, my 7s turn to 6, which are 2 card blocks. My Spectral Shields do jack shit because they don't block no more. They don't attack no more. And then he did another turn straight after, which I should have probably blocked as well, considering the way the game was going. But I was like, no, we just got to eat damage. He's got to block eventually, right? And
This is pretty much Nick's mental state at the time.
Yeah,
Just like-
looks like I gotta throw somehow.
then he has a massive another blowout turn, and it's just like, I'm less life now, and the game's basically over. So he ended up winning, and he was probably in a lot better of a mental state than I was, like pre-leading to that. So like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a very rough start to the tournament. So I played first round. I played Dirk, who won the
Dirk
tournament.
Cresto, yep.
He went
Shane.
undefeated in Swiss and won the tournament. So I lost to him. I wasn't particularly close, and I was pretty new on the deck, seeing as I only just swapped onto it the night before. So it's
Classic
probably
mistake. Classic
it's
blunder.
probably like my worst
do it at
game
home,
of the
kids.
day. Yeah, played it pretty odd. Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, it wasn't a great game, to be honest. Like I made some misplays, but yeah, he also like angle shot me a little bit, which I wasn't super happy about. But bygones be bygones. Second round I went against Dean, on Reiner, so
Yeah.
Wasn't I kind of just drew well and just did shit tons of damage, killed him. Yep, that was a pretty quick game.
Yep.
Third game,
Third round, you get paired up.
I get paired up because I'm 1-1 into Liam, who's 2-0. On chain, and yeah,
I played a bit more of the deck. My deck was slightly better.
Yeah, you
just
had some
from
more
card
cards.
availability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get rolled.
Yeah.
So I'm 1-2 at the start of the tournament, but I actually recover from there and win my next 3 games.
Yeah.
So
Finishing a respectable 4-2.
Yeah. So I finished 4-2, losing only to the top 2 in Swiss and the finalists of the tournament. So I guess I can't be too mad, but because of where I lost, I missed my shot at top 8.
Yeah.
Mm. Yep, and so I played Chain round 1. I played versus Sam Smith on Bolton. He said he was still learning the deck. And we had real quick game 1 where he just didn't really get to do anything and kind of just blew him out with a couple of Art of Wars.
Typical Chain shenanigans.
Yeah, he played towards like a single Lumina, which just isn't good enough in the matchup.
Yeah, we found out that because we obviously played a lot of Bolton into chain. Bolton has to draw extremely well to win.
You need like double Lumina plus V the Vanguard.
You need to have like V the Vanguard turn 2 until double Lumina turn 3 to win.
Yeah,
and that's not going to happen the vast majority of the games because of the soul requirement.
Or just some really, really good take flight turns in a row.
Yeah, you need to be like take flight, Valiant Charge level turns to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very difficult, and it's even more hard when they're playing Carrion Husk.
Yeah. And then round 2. God, can I remember what I played? I played a Ninja, which Nick had looked at the previous round and said he was playing 2 Nolrune into Kano, so he thought it was control. So I sideboarded slightly more heavily for control, and it turned out he was playing aggro.
Yeah, well, it was weird because when I went past him, so the 2 Nolrune he was playing was boots and gloves. And typically speaking, if you're playing Nolrune, if you're a ninja and you're playing Nolrune into Kano, the one piece of equipment you keep the whole time is Snapdragon Scales, right? Yeah. It's like, if you are considering 2 pieces, it's robe and gloves. Yeah. But he was playing boots and gloves, so I was like, this is a bit weird. This seems like it was more control-based because he's keeping the tunic and the mask.
I think if you're playing 1 Nolrune in Ninja, it's a concession to Viserai. Yeah. If you're playing 2 Nolrune, then you should think about axing one of them and playing, like, Aaron's Prayer or something.
Yeah, well, it's just an aggro Ninja, right?
Yeah,
you have to play...
You have to play multiple Nolrune for control, but
if you care about the
aggro ninja, if you're worried about Kano and aggro ninja, then you should be playing Aaron's Prayer because it's a lot more efficient.
Yeah, and you can actually pay for it.
You can't use Nolrune very efficiently in Ninja because your turns are so resource starved, right? You know, like that deck is designed to aggro ninja is designed to run off 3 resource or 0 resource. Yeah. It doesn't do 2 resource very well at all.
So he was a relatively new player, I think. He had some odd decisions in his deck. He natural combo me like turn 2 with head jab find center, which is not something I expected to see.
Oh, I might have played this guy as well.
Yeah, I think you did.
Did he have like kind of long hair, like down to here?
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, but he just kind of out aggroed him that game. He made some weird blocking decisions, like not keeping 5 card hands when he could have, and then he didn't read Consuming Volition that was attacking and just had to discard a card and take 3 damage. Which was kind of rough.
I believe he had a problem later on that day with concessions.
Yeah. We'll actually talk about.
We'll
actually talk about that because I know what happened.
No, do that one later.
Yeah.
I guess we can go into it because I'll just talk about my matchup with him. So I played him in the 4th round, and the ninja player.
Yeah.
And anyway, I kind of figured the same thing that he was a newer player.
No, he told me he was a new player.
Yeah. Just the way he was like talking about the game kind of just suggested that he was newer. And yeah, of course he I get blue head jabbed like first thing in the first attack on the chain. I'm like, okay. I let it hit and then he searches red open the center. No, he searches up the inline to it, Pounding Gale.
Oh yeah.
And then open the centers me, Pounding Gales me. I block the Pounding Gale with 3 blocking equipment. I'm like, okay, this is an odd ninja build because it's not a typical ninja build to run the punchline.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think he would have a good chance of winning against me if he didn't just start blocking me far too early. He had some odd blocks early as well. Where his hands would have been a lot stronger if he'd just kept the 1 or 2 cards he'd thrown away.
Yeah,
So
which is unfortunate, but that's something you learn.
it's something you learn, right? Especially against such a difficult deck like Chain. Like if you make a couple mistakes, it can be game for you.
Yeah. And then there was the concession thing.
Yeah. So, before that match, just before that,
round five, yeah.
yeah, the judge had said that you cannot clarify the
Yes.
rules around concessions and asking
No, so
for
this was
concessions.
after the incident. This incident happened and then the
No,
next round.
no.
No,
No,
so
something
this-
happened before. I know for a fact something happened before because I was sitting me and Jed were sitting beside the table as it happened.
Yeah, no, it's not quite.
And then
so the
something
judge
happened, and then
mentioned
the next
it.
round.
The judge
Was it 2
mentioned
rounds?
it in passing,
Yeah,
and then the incident happened, and then it got mentioned again more strongly in the beginning of
Yeah.
the next round. So what happened is that it wasn't this guy, but it was this guy's friend had jokingly asked for a concession from Jen.
Yeah.
And you know, Jen took it seriously, and called a judge over, which is kind of like a worst scenario for this guy, because I talked to him and you could tell he obviously didn't mean it. He was joking around. He was quite young, and
that's
not used
that's
to a
an
tournament
instant
setting,
DQ,
right?
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did just get away with a warning because the judge was lenient with him.
uses discretion.
Yeah, which I think was
it was a fair call.
fair in this instance. But yeah, I said to him, because he was telling me about it, he was like, oh, it's bullshit or whatever. And I said, look, man, you can't say those things at this level. You know, at a tournament,
for a reason, right?
yeah, at a tournament, you have to be serious and take yourself seriously, and expect other people to take you seriously.
Yeah.
So be precise in what you say, and don't say anything that
You
could
don't
get
actually-
misconstrued, right?
Yeah.
You know, don't yell bomb in an airport.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
pretty
Like,
much.
yeah.
Fire in a
So
theatre.
Especially when there's so much like it's not that there's so much money on the line, it's the fact that like the tunic is on the line is enough.
Yeah.
Like people will actually take
I
it
don't know.
very
It's
very
yeah,
just-
and
seriously.
even if you're not taking that prize very seriously, other people will be.
Yeah.
So
Even if you're
Yeah.
out for the prize, people just show up and tend to take the day seriously. So
Yeah.
whether for practice for future
Yeah.
ones or
Yeah.
yep, always check yourself. Think, is this a thing that I should be saying seriously, or is it just unnecessary? You know, or could end up in like a judge call
Mhm.
against me. So
yeah. So that was my round 2. Then round 3 was versus Daniel. I just found out I drew him, and Daniel forgot a soul shackle on turn 3.
I know it was terrible.
Yeah.
I think
Looking
I
to
just
play
tilted. I
Looking to
never.
play Command and Conquer
Yeah,
because I Command and Conquer them the previous turn, and that kind of upset him because it was a really good Command and Conquer.
yeah. I never play well against mates, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I'm always like tilted because I'm like, oh man, one of us is gonna get knocked out, and whatever. It's always like an emotional thing. So
And
Yeah.
then it kind of snowballed, but that game didn't really matter in the end. It was a pair down, so it felt pretty bad, like
Yeah.
especially bad.
Yeah.
Then round 4, I believe, comes after that. I played Rory. Can't remember his last name. Feel like it's Milne.
a warrior player.
Yeah.
Awesome
Warrior player. Yeah, he's a super nice dude. Played him when he came down for the Dice Jar Championships. Yeah, really enjoyed playing versus him, and I won that one pretty comfortably. Actually, it was like turn 1 and 2. I kind of blocked him out pretty comfortably. Traded some damage back. Turn 3 he attacks with the Naked Dawnblade. He sharpened steel Dawnblade. So I'm like, my hand's good, so I'll just take it all. And then he goes +3/+3 and just 12s me. And then I start to get a little bit worried.
Yep.
And then the turn after that he goes Yellow Warriors Valor Dawnblade. So I put Husk and Grasp in front of it, and he can't give it more than +3, so he has to pass the turn pretty much. And then I get a full
Just time
hand.
walk him.
Yeah, full card hand from turn 4 onwards, and then just push out too much damage for him to really deal with.
Husk is just absurd for dealing with warrior or decks that really build to a pivot turn where they try and turn the game on you.
Yeah.
Just as you say, nope.
Actually, funnily enough, Rory was saying on the turn 3 where he pushed that 12 damage, because he had Sharpened Steel Dawnblade, he was sitting there and he sat there for about 30 seconds. He was like, you're on 29 life, but I really want to break Refraction Bolters. And it would have been the right decision because he just ended up never getting tempo after that, so getting the counter that turn would have been really big.
Yeah.
But not having blocked with the Refraction Bolters and then breaking them on turn 3
Feels
is like
real bad.
virtually never the right decision in Warrior, right? So
Yeah, you train yourself not to do that, right?
yeah. Yeah, so it was like the one time the discipline comes in poorly,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
I'm the same, like, in a lot of aspects of my plays. I'll, like, virtually always prefer to arsenal something over play it. Or I'll prefer to, hold an equipment rather than use it early. Which means I sometimes finish a game with extra equipment. Which is, like, in that case, obviously a misplay. But I think, overall, over a vast amount of games, it does make you a better player. Overall. But knowing when to be conservative with your resources and when not to be is a really big skill.
So then round 5, I played versus Dirk on Chain. And it was a really tight game. I got him down to 4 and I was down to 2. It was my turn. And I had 2 seeds and a yellow Riftbind and Banish. Actually it was 2 yellow Riftbinds because it was turn 4. And so I was sitting there like, I can get all his cards this turn, but then I'll take one from my husk. So if I get bad banishes next turn, I can potentially lose to my own husk. But then I didn't really think about him taking Blood Debt as well. And I was aware he was playing Invert because he pitched one the previous turn. So I was thinking, how likely is it he has another Invert the turn straight after, knowing one's not an arsenal? So I broke the even fold to guarantee lethal that turn. And he just had the Invert to kill me. When I should have just played it safer and killed him with his own Blood Debt.
Yeah.
And tried to take all his cards that turn, which ended up would have worked because he had Art of War as his other card. So he just had 2 no blocks and 2 2 blocks.
Yep. Rough.
Yep, so that was like my punt of the day. And was 4-1 after that. And then round 6 was versus Simon Austin Wallace, the Saw, on Control Ninja. Luckily we knew he was on Control Ninja because he played the previous day and we'd seen him playing it all day. So I sideboarded correctly for that one, brought in the Time Snap Potions, Seeping Shadows, and it was a pretty comfortable game for me, really.
Not close, right?
Yeah. So I got one Time Snap Potion out, used it to make the Ursa token and attack with it on one turn.
Yeah.
That was not the game. That wasn't the game you watched. Yeah.
We actually have done, just to plug our own content, we've done a Saw-inspired rematch of Chain versus Katsu Control, just to basically show how one-sided it is, and it should be uploaded soon. But in that game, I draw quite well. If you draw fairly poorly on Chain in it, you still get me. It was close, but in that game, but a lot of things went poorly for you. So the matchup feels pretty good for the way we built Chain. I was kind of thinking about fatigue when I was building the deck. I thought there'd be more Bravo than the one that showed up. Yeah,
that was amazing.
It ended up being mostly aggro, which is what I kind of expected.
That was what was last time we were up in Nelson.
Yeah, it's why aggro is very popular in Nelson. So I kind of thought that Bolton would be good, but then we just worked out that you can never out aggro the Chain. To can it. But I think Bolton is very good against the non-chain decks in the current format. I think it's very decent against Prism. It's very good against Dash.
I think really in the Prism matchup, it's really about who gets to their Lumina or who gets to their Tome turn.
But I think Warrior has a lot of terms, like a lot of ways to stop the Tome.
And he plays 9 6s, so that's pretty good. So playing Versor, kind of use the Ursa token, just leverage cards out of his hand, and then eventually kill him with like the Seeping Shadows game plan. And then I made top 8 on that one. And then we got a top 8 announcement. I was playing versus a Sabres Bolton player, which was not something we expected to be an actual real deck. It doesn't seem reliable enough that you can actually kill your opponent. And so I boarded like he was going to be playing an aggro plan, trying to get those Luminas as early as possible, which almost lost me the game actually, because
he just went straight to fatigue, didn't he?
Well, he drew 2 Luminas early, he had to pitch one away, arsenaled one, and then never saw the second one, so he just started blocking out for the rest of the game because he didn't have his combo, so he couldn't do anything else. And I ended up going down to 1 card in deck, breaking Ebon Fold to draw it, because I needed resource and I knew it was a blue. And then pushing exact lethal on that turn, well, not quite exact lethal, but I had the option of I went for a Riftbind for 9 or something, got 3 cards, and he had 1 card in hand, 1 card in arsenal, which I was pretty sure was Illumina, but it could have been anything at that point, right?
Yeah.
So I opted to play a Bounding Demigod and guaranteed lethal him with a Rune Chant and 2 blue seeds that hadn't triggered yet, instead of playing another Riftbind for 8, which would have lost to a red unmovable, because I had 0 cards left. But actually, in hindsight, it didn't really matter. I would have killed him eventually anyway, just with Nebula Swings, because he had only Skullcap as his null rune. So I could have just made Rune Chants off Nebula Blade and killed him in 2 turns.
Yeah.
So that would have been the way to go. And he wouldn't have been able to do much unless he drew like exactly
enough damage,
a 0 charge card to play the Lumina if he actually had an arsenal.
Yeah.
So yeah, making him have the unmovable was the right play, because if it's not a Lumina, if it's an unmovable, I win the next anyway, and if it's a Lumina, I kill him that turn. So yeah. And then so that was first round of top 8. Second round was versus Sora again. So we replayed the matchup.
Went much the same
exactly
way,
the
didn't it?
same, and this one was much easier for me. I managed to see both time snap potions early.
First like 2 turns or 3 turns, was it? Like
fourth turn, I think, was the last
this
potion.
one?
Yeah, turn 2 and turn 4, I think it was.
And then I made like a turn 6 Ursa token, which he was sitting there keeping 2 cards in hand. So I was thinking he was going to be Darchi Torrent or something to kill the Ursa token. So I seriously considered not making it that turn. Just because it's so important. Well, it's not so important, but it's very, very good at ending the game for you.
I was watching it and I'm just like, play it, because even him just using 2 cards with like him
he was
just
keeping those cards anyway, right?
Yeah, so he was keeping those 2 cards anyway, and just making him spend 2 cards, which he has to do minimum to kill the Ursa, then leaving him with 0 arsenal, heading into the late game with 2 time snaps is basically him.
Ironically enough, it turned out to be
snake, right? It wasn't unmovable. That's right.
Blue was
That's
a
right.
snake, and
I'm gonna have to step away from a minute. I'm sorry. Got a
Yes,
phone call
good.
from work.
So yeah, it ended up being an unmovable and snake. So like, he has to pitch it to swing Kadashi next turn, and he has to arsenal the unmovable to help himself out.
Yep.
And Liam ends up just eking. Well, actually, you know what? While he's away, we'll let him carry on talking about this matchup when he gets back. But
It is just trying times at the moment because COVID is like alert level 4 has just been announced, so
people's work is
everyone's
so
trying to sort out everything. It's
But
literally
anyway,
a couple hours ago.
just before this matchup, like just before you went to top 8, we actually went and did go-karting, didn't we?
We
To
did.
fill in our time.
My bones are still sore.
Yeah. So we went and did go-karting. In the first the round of the go-karting, there was like 2 other people on the track that weren't part of our group,
You got bullied.
and I got like side rammed. So the thing tells you like no contact at the start. Keep contact to a minimum. If any aggressive contact, you'll be pulled off the track.
Yeah.
I got side rammed halfway up a barricade, and my like hip and back are still in absolute agony from it. And the kid gets nothing. No warning, no nothing. He keeps going around.
And that was during my
and that
sixth
wasn't the
round,
only
eh?
time. Yeah. It was just after your 6th round because we went just before.
You came. No, you were back
We
in time
went-
to watch me play Saw. So.
Yeah. We were there for your announcement on top 8, and then we left.
Oh yeah, you were
Yeah.
first round of top.
Sweet,
eight,
so really for about an hour, like
Yeah.
just as top 8 started,
It was
because we
really,
wanted to
it was really
go.
cool having everyone watch the Saw game,
Yeah.
because we get on well with Saw. He's like he's
Yeah.
a good dude. Comes down for a lot of tournaments.
Yeah.
So there's your go karting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Um,
but I wasn't the only person he hit because I watched him hit Callum too as well, and I watched him like smash like other some, even me and him.
yeah.
And then there was finals after that actually.
Yeah.
So I was rematch versus Dirk Cresto, who I punted away last time. So I felt like I could win it. Felt like my deck had the opportunity.
Yeah.
But he was the only person who was higher seeded than me. So he gets the start,
stuff
and it's
first.
very big in the chain matchup. Because
It's
they effectively
one soul
draw
shackle.
4 more cards than you, right?
Yeah.
Because the game ends turn 4 or 5, so that's like however many shackles they make that turn is more than you. And I didn't have particularly good banishes. And turn 2, he Plunder and E-striked me from Arsenal for 10. I was sitting there looking at an Art of War in like a decent hand, but not if I block. So I'm like, oh well, this is pretty much worst case. Just take 10, give him an Arsenal card. And then swing back with the Art of War.
You did have a good swing back.
Yeah, the Art of War turn ended up being draw some cards, and I have a blue Riftbind in hand, and then not much in banish.
Yeah, you got a bad banish on that turn because that was turn 3. I ended up like turning away as you did the banishes, and I turned back after the banishes, and I was like, did he forget?
So I had a yellow seeds and a ghostly visit already in
there.
banish from the previous turn.
And then you revealed like.
Then I revealed like Morvaron Sky's Eye and something else.
East
not
Strike.
I was the next turn.
Yeah, East Strike.
East Strike and CNC or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I draw my 2 cards with Art of War. I play my Plunderon from Arsenal. I'm still a little short on resource and like anything to actually swing with. So I activate my Ebenfold, banishing a blue Riftbind, drawing a card, and I actually draw into a red E-Strike, which wasn't great. But I end up playing, Seeds, Howl from Beyond, Plunderon, Shadow Puppetry, Riftbind, and I think that was about right.
Yeah.
Maybe an extra Seeds or something,
about-
but it
it
was
was
like
about 15
it was a
damage,
14
right?
damage
Yeah,
Riftbind with 2 draw triggers on it. So I managed to hit an Unhallowed Rites on the banish, and then that was when I drew the E-Strike. Yeah, so I drew the red off that. So it comes in for 14, and then I get to Soul Shackles come in with a Ghostly Visit for 5, and then I have the choice between coming in with Unhallowed Rites for 5 or arsenaling an E-Strike. And if it's a blue, it's so much better because I get to Unhallowed Rites, break Snappies, and get to Nebula Blade.
Yep.
And really push damage. But instead I have to just come in with the Unhallowed Rites, not push quite enough damage for that turn.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I get to keep too many cards, and then I get hit for quite a lot the next turn, keep 3 cards, going to 6 life. He's on 15.
I think that turn where he came back, like after that turn where he just hit you again really hard with like a really strong hand and decent banishes.
That was good.
So you like lost the game.
It was like decent banishes plus a flock of the Feather Walkers to give extra go again.
Yep.
With Nebula Blade and Shadow. Yeah, you banished a Shadow of Ursa, so it's another go again attack.
I mean, you ended up doing Shadow Versa flock and then ended on a Shadow Versa as well.
Yeah, it was a really solid hand from him.
Yeah.
And then I go to my turn, banish 3 misses again.
Yeah, you just whiffed.
So in a only block 1 card because I was putting my whole game on those banishes and a Tome of the Arknight from hand. And so I play the Tome of the Arknight and hit Art of War on the first one, so I can't draw.
Yeah.
And at that point I knew the game was over.
Yeah.
So I just I did what damage I could, and he's like, yeah, I'll take it. It's not much.
Just hits
and
you
then
with a 15
I go to
damage
his
with
turn,
blind
and I'm like,
back,
yeah, come on, just show me a dick. Yeah, so he dotted his I's and crossed his T's and
Yeah.
won the game there. But
Yeah.
that was so second place was a result I was pretty stoked with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A deck that we put together the previous night, version I hadn't played in weeks. I've been on Jason Chung's list for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you joined me in the ranks of Nelson Road to Nat second places.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
You can rest on your laurels now.
Yeah. That was only the second Road to Nets I've ever played in, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
It's a great achievement.
Played the
well.
last one in Dunedin end of last year.
Yeah.
And it was my first Fab tournament I ever played.
Yeah.
So,
Gosh,
yeah.
that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't make top 8 of that one, did you?
Oh, it was my first Fab tournament I ever played in.
Yeah.
So I went like 1-3 drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Me and Dad made top 8 that one.
Yeah.
3rd and 4th
We
respectively.
did it. Woo.
But yeah, that was it was a good weekend
Yeah.
for me, for Fab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got my Exude Competence mat, which these two are fighting over.
Yeah. Pretty
I think
keen
I'm
on it.
memeing. I'm more or less memeing him, but...
Yeah. But it's a playmat, so you never know with Nick.
Yeah, you never know. Never know.
Might
Yeah.
randomly become obsessed with obtaining it. So, yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. And then, we drove back
On
Yeah.
Monday?
On Monday, yeah.
Yeah. It's a pretty hard stretch for me coming back because I get, we go through the middle to make it faster, but I get car sick in the back.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Going
I have
the
to,
other way's
like-
worse.
yeah, going up was worse.
Yeah,
I
at
found-
least all
no,
the turns...
going around the coast is worse.
Yeah.
There's some pretty
Oh.
bad stretches there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty,
Yeah,
I
'cause
did
Nick-
slow
Nick's
down.
way too aggressive on the corners.
I'm a little bit too aggressive in the corners, but I did try to slow down quite a bit.
yeah.
Definitely a lot more than I normally would. Like,
Yeah,
had
no.
you not been in the car, I'm pretty sure Liam would
Yeah,
have
yeah,
probably
yeah.
told me off the way.
Yeah.
Pretty badly.
Yeah,
but
I appreciate
he
it.
did give me a few warnings along the way. Be like, you just need to slow down a little bit more on that corner.
Yeah. No,
But
that was alright.
It's just...
It was alright.
Yeah.
And I drove the second half.
We got through it.
ran into an accident just outside Oamaru. Didn't hear
Yeah.
much
That's
about it in the
pretty
news
bad,
though,
eh?
so
Yeah, it can't have been too
couldn't have been
bad.
too bad.
We
Hopefully.
probably missed it by like 10, 15 minutes and seen it there and had to go around the corner.
We went a detour just as they
There's
set up
like
the detour
20
coming the other
cars
way.
backed
Yeah.
up.
So
round
we
the
ran
back
into a
of-
one-way bridge where there was like 10
10
trucks
just
coming
coming
over.
across.
And
It's
we're
like,
just like,
my
oh my god, we're
God.
going to be stuck here forever.
With
And
like
the car in
second
front of us
line
snuck
queue.
through. So I was like, oh,
We're
just
gonna
gonna
follow.
them. And then there wasn't enough room on the road to actually get past the truck.
And then
So this truck
15
had to
cars are
awkwardly
piled up
back
behind
up.
us, like
all like just
bumper
a
to
side
bumper.
move. Yeah.
like we're on bumper to bumper. And then we're making this because the where our car in front of us was, this truck had to reverse so
And
that we could
make
get
room on
past
the
each
road,
other.
yeah.
And
He was not happy.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
It was,
Yeah.
what a nightmare, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually shows you that you do need traffic wardens. They are good for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was not an ideal spot for a detour, to be honest, but
Yeah.
there's no other option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were very quick on picking up that there was a detour, because otherwise we would have been
Yeah, the second we got
screwed.
stuck in queue, me and Callum were just like, we need to find
Find a
another
way.
road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just like, we're not waiting here. This is not possible. This
It'll
just
take
can't be
forever.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you could, like in a car crash, like outside of a car crash, you could be in there for like 10 to 30 minutes to like 5 hours, 6
Yeah.
hours, depending on how bad it is, and it's just like
Yeah. Like, at
not
least-
good
at
for the
least there
people
was
in
a
it.
detour.
And yeah.
Yeah.
It's just an option for a detour. You're better for taking it rather than wasting everyone's time.
Mm.
Mm.
Yep.
And then we got back okay, so we
And
did.
we set a really nice place up there, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Callum.
massive thanks to Callum. His parents let us stay at their
The original home.
Yeah.
The original home. The house
Callum
Callum
grew
grew
up
up in.
in. Yeah.
So yeah, that
I
was,
slept in, or where his bed? What is that?
You slept
The
in his
big
bed?
I don't know if it was his
Do you
bed.
wanna
I don't know if
explain to us
that's
what was happening up there?
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
that was really helpful because
Yeah.
it makes the trip more affordable for everyone. So
Yeah, a lot easier.
yeah, definitely like really helps to know people
Yeah.
from where you're traveling to.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely had lots of people help us along the way for many of our trips.
Yeah.
So yeah, massive thanks to any of you, all of
Yeah.
you.
Fraser.
Huge fan.
You know who you are.
Fraser.
Yeah.
Yep. I look after him when he comes down here
Yeah.
as a returning favour.
He doesn't. You don't have the portrait room for him now, though.
What's that?
You don't have the portrait room for him now.
Have we explained this on the podcast?
I'm not sure.
No.
I don't know.
Oh, should we
Anyway.
move on to card of the week?
Yeah, we're winding down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get through it very quickly. I think we're a bit on a time scale tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cut of the week today is Herald of Protection, which
Yeah.
is the promo that we got from
Yeah.
LSS for
This is a bit of
As a screen
another shameless plug. So
Pretty clear. Oh, his special promo is that we're now glaring out the cameras with.
we basically were lucky enough to receive a special package from LSS containing
Content creator kit.
containing
Appreciation
a Herald of Protection playmat, which is
Yeah.
beautiful, and a whole bunch of Herald of Protection promo full
Yeah.
art cards in foil.
But anyway, why is this card of the week?
Oh, well, it's a pretty good card, but we also received a bunch of them, which is why
That's
why
pretty
we
much
Largely
explained.
due to the fact we got a
Um,
bunch of them. But
But
So-
yeah, it's a hero you want to play 9 of in a lot of decks.
yeah, there's basically
Aura probably wants to play the yellows anyway because it makes an aura on hit. It's like one of the more threatening ones you can use.
It's super push, right? Red
it's
comes
probably
in for
blue.
7.
You're playing blue and yellow.
Definitely
in
playing
auras.
blue,
Yeah.
probably yellow, or maybe yellow.
But
Not
any
reds.
aggro build, you're definitely playing all 9. There's no way you're not.
Like the best hero,
Yeah.
right?
That's
Well,
Well,
close
second
to.
best hero, but yeah.
Best common
It's,
one.
it's the most
Best
push
common.
like on stats, right?
Yeah.
Like 7 plus a
Spectral shield.
spectral shield. The Herald of Ravages deals 1 arcane damage. I think a spectral shield is
better than
considerably
that.
better
Yeah.
because it deals 1 damage typically
Yeah.
and prevents 1 damage. So it's like protecting and dealing damage at the same time.
That's why it's called Hero of Protection. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, we're
Yep.
onto it. Also, it's a really pretty card. So
It is really, really cool. Yeah.
yeah. So again, if you haven't
Huge
seen the
Mass
video,
Effects.
yeah.
Well, the video's not out yet. Hopefully, it comes out before this or after this.
Yeah, we're
but
not
there'll be some
sure.
video.
But,
Around soon.
There is a video.
There is
There
a
is a
video.
video. There is a
Yeah.
video.
And it has audio. Hopefully.
Which is-
Yeah.
is
Yeah, massive thanks to LSS, and we're going to have giveaway details
Coming up.
for it
Once
Once we
soon.
work out how we're actually giving them away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
But hopefully you can see them on Outer War Plus 1 at some point when Nick gets on and plays Prism.
Yeah.
I mean,
Feels
I don't
like
know
a
if
dick at
I'm
the
playing
moment.
Prism anymore.
You've been
The whole
you've been
weekend
put
put you
off
It's
off.
a
a
deck.
horrible weekend.
I
off
really want to
prison.
learn the deck. It's just
That's
such
so
a cool
fun.
deck.
It is
yeah.
such a cool deck. It's so fun, and I enjoy it. Just being like aggressive, and you know, just
Yeah, especially
It
now I
just-
don't have to play chain and
Yeah.
have to try and get that Nats invite, which is
But-
a big weight off my shoulders personally.
Yep.
But it's just like after my weekend of it, it's just my mind.
It was
is
a pretty
fried
miserable
from it.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has some pretty hard matchups too, eh?
Yes.
If you do just randomly get chucked
Get the
into those
Rhino
rogue decks,
enthusiasts.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like the
And-
the only matchup I wanted on the Road to Nets Day was all the chain matchups. I would have been like, sweet, I got a almost a 50% shot going into every one of these
speaking
matchups.
of Rhino enthusiasts really quickly, there's a guy in the Rhino Discord who's been messaging me about his experiences with the Road to Nats and taking Rhino, because he asked my advice from our +1 videos, called Chunks, and I believe he was top 8 at his first 2 on Rhino. One of them going undefeated in Swiss, and it's
That's
like
really cool.
it's super cool to hear back from people who watch the video
Yeah.
and then to let you know how they're
Do
doing.
well,
and
especially, right?
especially doing
Like,
well.
learn
Yeah.
something, yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's really
It's an awesome experience.
it's really
to be
cool
honest,
to.
yeah.
And we heard back from a couple of the Nelson people that they watched and enjoy content. And
Yeah. It's such a cool thing to see people like in the flesh go, hey, I really enjoyed that video.
Yeah.
or-
Like, well, most
Yeah,
of my
even on
matchups.
Discord, if you
Yeah.
if you see us on Discord, just send us a message and be like,
yeah.
your content sucks. Don't bring Daniel on anymore because he just loses.
Yeah, like in
I'm
most
here
of
to
the-
lose. You need someone to lose.
That's the thing. Like, in
It's got to be a winner.
like 2 or 3 of my matchups on in the Road to Nets Day, like the part of the reason like I wasn't really upset about the matchups was the person opposite me said like, you know what, I don't have a lot of time to play anymore, or like I'm very tight for time, but the one thing I do have time for is to sit and watch your videos, your podcast, your thing, and it just feels fucking good. It's
Yeah, it
such
does.
a good feeling to
real cool.
hear someone be like, I watch
Yeah.
this, I support this is great.
Yeah.
It's real
And-
cool, yeah.
Yeah, now that New Zealand is going into lockdown, if you've got lots of time, watch
There's lots
some,
of
watch
videos.
some,
There's some videos
watch
to catch
some,
up on.
watch some +1 videos.
Yeah.
You know, let us know how we're doing.
How terrible
And-
bad players we are.
Matchups you want to see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think with that we're signing off.
Yep.
So, thanks for watching this week. We'll
Yep.
catch you all again shortly.
Yep.
We will
Like,
see.
comment, and subscribe.
Yep.
And make sure you work out how to get yourself in the giveaway.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely,
When we let you know.
definitely subscribe if you haven't already.
Yes,
Otherwise,
you will
you're
have to
not
be
in a shop.
subscribed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 100%.
Not in a shop for it if you don't.
All right. Goodbye.
All right, goodbye.
See you next time.